What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? Are we gonna get a deal? No deal? Deal? What the heck is going on? Let's get to it. And hello, baseball fans. What is going on? 106 people in the chat to start things off. What is going on? Ratchet, hello. Josh Lipchinski is in the house. He asks, how am I supposed to draft for fantasy? I don't know. How's fantasy basketball going, Josh? I think I'm in the lead at the moment. Nicholas, what's going on? Michael Shin, hello. Frenzy Man, hello. Jackson, what's going on? Courage, Simply Fox, Julian, hello. Think Outside the Box, what a great name, hello. I wish I had enough of a brain to be able to think outside the box. Theo, what is going on? Hello. Keith Califf, what's going on? Diego, hello. Mo Goris, Laggin Toaster, I like it. Laggin Toaster, what's going on? What else we got? Giovan Suzio, hello. Ricky Rubio is in the house, hello. International basketball player extraordinaire. What is going on? Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Hope everyone is having a great day. I don't know what the heck is going on. I'm tired. I had, 4 hours of sleep last night. I kind of wanted to run into some traffic today instead of teaching the kids because I was that tired today. But yeah, we got to keep on rolling over here. It's looking like, I don't know what it's looking like right now. Are we going to get a deal? Are we not going to get a deal? You know, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but we'll dive into all the tweets. We'll get caught up. Just got home recently, literally just put my things down. Had just enough time to make myself a nice cup of espresso because my potato brain is already enough of a potato as it is. But when I'm tired, I need a little something extra. But what is going on, everyone? Let's get to it here. But before I do get started, if you can, hit that subscribe button. If you're new, we're trying to get to 20K by opening day. We just hit 18,000 last night. Everyone, thank you so much for helping us get to that milestone. Everyone, hit that like button for me. That's going to help get this out there for more baseball fans looking for coverage of these negotiations. Hit the bell notification, share the stream, share any of the content on the channel. So, we've kind of had some interesting things come up today. It was looking like things were moving in the right direction last night, kind of like last week, but to me, it felt like maybe it seemed a little more optimistic last night. Numbers were coming closer together. The owners were definitely giving more concessions for the players. And but now, if you've noticed on the Twitter land, the most extraordinary place on earth, full of all the high IQ people out there, including myself, except... Never mind, that doesn't make any sense. But the pretty much the holdup right now is the international draft. If you've been paying attention, it is the international draft that seems to be the holdup at the moment. If you've paid attention today on Twitter, it seems like the tide has shifted from the court of public opinion. The tide has shifted from the players to maybe towards the middle, maybe even a little bit towards the owners, because the owners have made some serious concessions for the players. Yes, they have asked for things in return, but they have moved really well when it comes to the CBT, when it comes to the minimum salary. They've even budged a little bit on the bonus pool. Yes, they have asked for things in return, but now the players are seeming to be sitting on their hands a little bit. But we actually did just get an update recently on what their last proposal was looking like, so we'll go into that a little bit. But I'm just going to say this. From day one, I've been a both sides guy. I've been looked at things from both angles. I had people coming after me. I had people on Twitter coming after me, big baseball YouTubers coming after me. And I'm just saying, I mean, Do I have your attention now? It's both sides. It's both sides. It's never just looking at the players. Like, you can never just look at it from one angle. You got to look at it from multiple angles. So, again, do I have your attention now? I've been saying it from the beginning. So, let's get to the good stuff. Here we go. So, let's kind of just get to some recent updates here. Bob Nightingale, he's been the man. He's been the man, giving us a lot of updates. So, I am seeing you, Michael Shin, in the chat, giving us 3 options. I did see that. So, as of right now, that was Ken, right? Let me actually pull up Ken Rosenthal. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. It is, wow. There's a lot of stuff going on. Let me actually pull up this tweet. Thank you, Michael Shin, for getting that to my attention. I was reading this earlier. Here we go. Major League Baseball, they answered the Players Association proposal. We'll go look at that here in a second by offering 3 options. 1, agree to eliminate draft pick compensation and examine the international draft. I would go with door number 1. If we're going doors here, I'm going door number 1, honestly. Number 2, give Major League Baseball the option to reopen the CBA in a couple of years if the union won't agree to the draft. To me personally, I would rather get the CBA done, talk about it again in 5 years. 3, agree to the international draft and elimination of draft pick compensation. Again, I'm more in favor for number 1. Get rid of draft pick compensation. That's going to help out the players. And then don't go gun-ho into an international draft right away. Take a couple of years. Get it organized. Get people's thoughts. Set it up the right way. Make sure it starts off in the right way. I would go with door number 1, honestly, if we're going to be picking one of these options here. But however, the players are not in favor of the international draft. So they think it's going to hinder, players' opportunities to make money. However, I see a lot of bright sides for an international draft, and we'll kind of dive into it here in a little bit. But let's just get caught up here. So, also, Bob Nightingale tweeted about 20 minutes ago, Major League Baseball has scheduled a call with their 30 owners to discuss the next steps in negotiations. I'm pretty sure that's basically what they met about right here. So, again, giving the players 3 different options. And then we'll dive into the international draft here in a little bit. John Heyman has been on it as well a little bit. Here we go. Hope everyone's having a good day, by the way. Hope everyone had a nice Wednesday. But the last thing that John Heyman said, I thought this was actually really interesting. Is this some kind of a tactic here from the owners? I don't know. Major League Baseball, they said that the union, while they were all meeting in Jupiter last week, while they were all huddled up in their little rooms at the Cardinals spring training complex, they said that the union, they offered Major League Baseball the implementation of an international draft if they eliminated the CBT. However, the union says that's not true and that it rejected an international draft multiple times. At this point, it's he said, she said. You don't know what actually happened here, but I do find that interesting. Another person to be following, if you are trying to keep track of all of this, Ben Nicholson-Smith. He's been on it. He's been fantastic. I think he's been a pretty underrated source during this whole thing. Bob Nightingale, he has risen from the ashes ever since the Trevor Bauer tweet last year. Bob Nightingale, he has just been fantastic. But Ben Nicholson-Smith has also been quite fantastic. So let's get into this international draft here a little bit. League wants an international draft. Players have reservations about it. Per Ken Rosenthal, it's a non-starter for Latin players. So that's been the main talking point for the last about 24 hours here. And it has been brought up. It has been mentioned, but it hasn't been this big of a deal during this entire process. The international draft has been the focal point of today. So we had here, Bob Nightingale said that Major League Baseball, they would want the international draft to start in 2024. So that gives you a couple of years to really put in a good system. And I'm okay with that. Because here's the thing, when it comes to an international draft, there's a lot of things that go on during the international signing period as of right now. Jordan Reagan has just subscribed. What is going on? So here is an article on sportsnet.ca. And I've also read a little bit about the whole process of international draft signing on Baseball America. They had a pretty good article. Let me actually see if I can pull that up here. Baseball America international draft. So I was reading this today. I don't know if I'm gonna remember where it was. No, I don't know. International draft. I don't know. I don't remember. I know it's on Baseball America. I got to find the link. But this article here points out a couple of things. If we go here, so again, the owners, they said, okay, we'll get rid of the qualifying offer. We'll drop that, but you got to give us the international draft. So the qualifying offer, just in case you're not familiar, it's where if a team offers a qualifying offer to a player and he ends up signing elsewhere, that team would have to give up a draft pick to his old team. So they want to get rid of that completely. They feel like that actually hinders free agents from being able to sign because teams don't want to give up draft picks. So taking a look here, it says here, an international draft would bring various logistical challenges. Dr. 23 Life just subscribed. What's going on? But the existing system is fraught with corruption already, so some changes are required regardless. In international baseball hotbeds, including the Dominican Republic and Venezuela, Buscones make pre-deals for children they formally represent starting at age 12 or 13. And actually, these kids over in the Dominican Republic and in Venezuela and other countries, they're starting to play even at like around 10 years old. And I don't remember the article that I read. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Let me go to my history on here. I was reading it on my phone earlier. Baseball America. Man, what was it? It was, let me see. Draft. Let me see here. MLB. Oh, okay, here is the article. All right, so there was the article right here. So MLB targeting international draft 2020 Baseball America. This is a pretty good article from a couple of years ago. And but they actually had a link in this article kind of highlighting some of the problems that are involved when it comes to international signing. It's a very weird system out there. So taking a look here, they actually talked with agents of these players where, guys that are training these young players over there. So I thought that these comments were pretty important when it comes to getting an idea of, what it's like. So let me see here. Here we go. So youth movement. The big showcases in Latin America the last few months haven't focused on 2019 or even 2020. So one trainer says, I hope they have a draft, said one trainer previously who was opposed to the draft. All the trainers to have a player, we used to get them at 13, 14 years old. Now you have to get them at 10 to 11 years old. So you have to carry them until they're 16 years old. How much money have you spent on those guys? So these trainers, they're putting in a lot of money when it comes to, just to be able to see if they can get these guys a big signing bonus when it comes to signing in the major leagues. He says here, I've got players signed in 2021, but I still have to buy that player gloves, equipment, baseballs, food, and then trainers through 2021. And then they have to keep, it's a rotating thing. They train these players, they go off into the major leagues, or they go off, overseas to the American League, or to America, and then try to make their way through the minor leagues. And then it starts all over again. Then they find a new crop of kids, right? So taking a look here, basically he's saying, there's a lot of money that's involved and a lot of cost for these guys over there. So if you go further into this article, they point out some other things too. Also, just the competitive frenzy of the whole thing. If you think about it, there is a lot of scouting going on in the Dominican Republic, in Venezuela, in other countries as well. There's a ton of scouting. It gets kind of chaotic a little bit. And you got to remember, they're talking with some of these kids who are around 12, 13 years old. I mean, I know that might sound pretty cool for a teenager, but, as an adult, looking at, if I were to be in that kind of a situation, I'm just trying to figure out how to have a childhood. And, I'm having all these scouts from different teams, coming after me pretty much. While that is cool, you're getting the attention. It's a lot. It can be overwhelming, I think, honestly, for, someone that's 12, 13 years old, where they want these kids to just commit really early. They can't go until they're 16 years old, but they're trying to get them to commit at such a young age. And that's a lot of pressure, for 12, 13-year-old kid. So taking a look here, so one of the international directors goes on to say, we're in an aggressive market with a lot of competition, so people want to keep stretching to get the next guy. The value of prospects has never been higher, and if you're able to get the guy young, then you're the man. You've got the next great thing, and you beat everyone to him. So it's a lot of competition out there. So taking a look. Another international director says, I would have no problem with a draft. I'd welcome a slowdown to take some heat off of the kids. Let these kids grow. I wouldn't mind doing it next year even. I have kids committed for next year, a good class too. It wouldn't bother me. To me, if you have a draft in place, you're giving these kids more time to just focus on developing, and then they can enter the draft when they're 16 years old. You don't have to worry about committing to, the Yankees or the Red Sox or whoever when you're 13 years old, because that happens a lot of times where, if you notice, before they've even signed, they've already committed. So, and there's, been times where, hey, a player is like 14, 15 years old, and they've already said, oh, he's committed to, go to the Nationals, So to me, I would like it if you just leave these kids alone. Yes, go out there and scout them, but don't be going, trying to go up to them and say, hey, will you commit to us? The kid's 13 years old. So let these kids focus on the development of their game and then go into the draft when it's time for them to do it. So, however, this one, another international director says, I was never for the draft. As a scout, it just helps lazy people. But the way it's going now, it's kind of a disaster. Whatever they come up with, I'm good. The way our lives work right now, we're not capable of keeping this up. You're looking at 16, 15, 14, 13. You're looking at 4 years worth of players. It's tough. There's never a break. Everyone's running. So goes on to say here, all we're doing is trying to keep up with the other teams because it's an open market. You have to know the players, and we're all making mistakes, all of us. I think I'm a decent scout. When I see a 16-year-old kid for 6-7 months, I think I'm pretty good at picking out a guy. I can't do that with a 13-year-old. So what he's basically saying is, it's getting so competitive out there that you got to go look to 12-year-old, 11-year-old kids. That's how competitive it's getting to try and get ahead. So that, to me, that's a lot going on, man. That's a lot going on. So says here, nearly every scout has repeated some version of the same story. They don't like what's happening. Says here, another international director, I'm all for the draft. I wasn't in favor of it before because if you have contacts and abilities, you can beat other teams in the Dominican Republic. I thought if you go to a draft, it takes that skill set away. But now it's stupid. We're gambling millions of dollars on kids, and then you got to think of it from the kids' point of view too. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a teacher. I work with kids, man, and I can see how easily a kid can get stressed out. To me, that's a lot on a kid, man. I understand they're trying to, you don't know what's going on where they are, over in these other countries in the world. You don't know what their situations are. But man, it's that to me, I know they're trying to make it. They're trying to make it to the major leagues, but why can't you make it to the major leagues? To me, I think you're better off spending that time, having a childhood, spending that time, developing your game, growing up as a kid, as a teenager, and then just go to the draft. To me, you're only setting yourself up for more success down the road. Focusing on developing and worrying about maybe where you get drafted in this international draft. So I'll come back to this here in a second. Just want to make sure that we're keeping up with any news. So the last thing we saw from Ken Rosenthal, he listed the 3 options that Major League Baseball presented. Here we go. So Union would find idea of reopener unappealing. That's what I said. It's like you want to just get a CBT done. If a deal in a few years was working well for the players, league would have option to escape and stage another lockout. That's another way to look at it too. So, again, Ken Rosenthal this is definitely a pro player kind of a tweet here. He's only looking at it from the owner's point of view. To me, if I'm the owners, I just want to get a deal done and not have to worry about it. You got all these other things to worry about, man. Again, so this is what I'm not liking about the media. It's just focusing so much on just pro player. I'm all about the players. Absolutely. I think they should get compensated, but we need to stop it with this kind of journalism. This is why Jeff Passan got in trouble with ESPN. So, you got to look at it from both sides. Ken Rosenthal, man. Come on. So here we go. So again, looking back at these options, I think number 1 is the best one. Eliminate draft pick compensation and examine the international draft over the next couple of years. So taking a look here, there's just so many tweets, man. There's just so much trying to keep up with it all. Let's take a look here. 2 minutes ago, Ben Nicholson Smith, players meeting internally right now. Sources tell me that conversation will determine whether players vote formally on owners' latest proposals. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna vote. I would imagine it's probably not going to be a unanimous no, but I could see maybe it's 50-50. I don't know. I want to know what all the players think. I wonder if I'm sure there are some players out there that probably think a draft is a good idea. Taking a look here. Jacob, Robbie, he was presenting the player's position. That's not a pro player tweet. It's showing their side of the story specifically. Well, I'm saying he needs to show the owner's side of the story as well. You just got to present both sides. So that's all I'm saying. Here we go. Bill Madden tweeted 20 minutes ago. We're at Armageddon, folks. I'm told the owners have had enough and are walking away after the Scott Boras-led players rejected what they felt was a best effort, fair deal that addressed all of the players' needs. Going to be months now. No way. That's big. If that's... Huh. Bill Madden dropping kind of a bombshell here. He has been wrong in the past. He has said some kind of outlandish things before. He has said he was the one he is not a big fan of Scott Boras. He does not like Scott Boras really all that much. But Bill Madden, he is a Hall of Fame baseball writer, in case you don't know who he is. But this is a very interesting tweet right here. Once again, he says, "We're at Armageddon, folks. I'm told the owners have had enough and are walking away after the Scott Boras-led players rejected what they felt was a best effort, fair deal that addressed all the players' needs." I'm going to be honest with all of you. I really, really thought the owners, they put a great offer on the table. The players are the ones, they goofed up on the last CBT. Or a CBA, sorry. They're the ones that accepted it. They're the ones that they thought they got a bad deal, but they're the ones that accepted it. To me, you need to, whatever, who am I? I'm not an expert by any means, but you can't win it all back in one swoop. You got to kind of climb your way back, and the owners really offered a lot here. I'm sorry. I think the players are very in the wrong when it comes to this. I thought the owners really presented a lot of good stuff. That's just my opinion, honestly. I do think the bonus pool could come up. So the bonus pool, I think the owner's last offer was for $40 million. So we're going to have to wait and see if this Bill Madden tweet becomes true. So very interesting because it says here the owners have had enough. They're walking away, but it looks like the players looks like they're still convening. So let's take a look. Yeah, I mean they're meeting right now, 5:00 Eastern Standard Time. So it's interesting. I think the owners, they've basically just said, all right, we have given what we feel like is a really good offer. What I would do personally, if the international draft is going to become an issue, I tweeted this about an hour ago. Numbers between the MLB and MLBPA have moved closer, which is great. The big question, though, how will MLB counter MLBPA not wanting international draft? At this point, I say drop it. Focus on the meat and potato numbers like the minimum salary, the CBT, the bonus pool. Get a deal done and make the international draft a priority on the next CBA. That's what I think. If it's going to become an issue, just let go of this. Let go of the international draft. Let go of it. Come back to it. Make it a priority for the next one. To me, I think if you have an agreement on these core economic numbers, I really think that's definitely, I think that if you're going to get a deal done, let go of this international draft. Let go of it. So, let's go back here. Anything new? John Morosi just tweeted. Oh, no, he retweeted. So we're basically waiting on what the players are going to come up with. So Michael Shin, that was not Bill Madden's account. Bill Madden is not tweeting. No, I think that is his account. I think it is. So he's actually been, I mean, I don't know. It could be. It definitely could be fake. But I mean, he's followed by Michael K. So he was the one. I don't think it's a fake account. So it's the where was the other one? There was the other tweet I was looking for. It was, here we go. Yeah, I don't think this is a fake account. So what a business. I'm told MLB higher up. This was a couple days ago. MLB higher ups and owners outraged over the lead baseball writer for one of their TV partners, ESPN's Jeff Passan, emailing multiple players and agents imploring them to vote down what he termed MLB's SHIT sandwich. So, no, I'm seeing in the chat, I don't think this is a fake account. So, I don't think this is a fake account. So, I don't think he's on the owner's side. I think he's just down the middle. He really has nothing to lose. He really has nothing to lose. So really, it's like there's no point for him to really take either side. He's just kind of tweeting about it. Now, I will say, probably is not the biggest fan of Scott Boras. It definitely seems that way. Yeah, Dan Ramos, that was his other Twitter. I think he made another Twitter. So, no, Michael Shin, I disagree. I don't think it's misinformation, because Jeff Passan actually came out and he apologized, for the comments that he made. Jeff Passan made those comments about he was texting the players, texting some agents saying that they should turn down that offer, or are you going to accept that offer? That was actually, Jeff Passan actually went on ESPN Daily and said those words, like those exact words. So, are we back? I think we're back. Okay, cool. Sorry, we had a little bit of lag there, everyone. A little bit of lag. So, but let's see. No updates. No updates here. Last thing we have is from Ben Nicholson-Smith. So, according to Bill Madden, the owners, it seems like they have made their last proposal. I mean, if we go back here, let me see if I can pull up the details. So as of right now, the CBT is really close. It's really close. The owners are at 230, starting at 230, and the players are starting at 232. So, but Michael, we need to stop spamming in the chat, my friend. We need to stop spamming in the chat. So minimum salaries, they're really close as well. It looks like Major League Baseball, they were at 700,000. The Players Association, they're at 710,000. They're both increasing. The players, they are going up to 780,000 by the end of the CBA, and the owners go up to 770. Sounds like you're going to be able to figure it out. You'll come to a middle point on that. So, but the core numbers are looking pretty good, except for the bonus pool. So, according to Andy Martino, the players, they came down to 65 million for the bonus pool, and the owners were at 40. I think, honestly, just settle at 50. Settle at 50. That's what I think, honestly. So, no, Mateo, it's not a fake Bill Madden account. It's not a fake account. So, but yeah, not really seeing any updates. But I agree, Bolt X, just get a deal done. Just get the deal done. We're kind of just waiting to see, what's going to happen. But I want to see what you all think. I'm going to take a look at the chat, see where you guys are at on this. BZ Baseball, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? Let's see. Yeah, Nicholas, I saw that Miles Straw tweet from today. The eyeballs, and I don't know, maybe he heard something. Marcus A., I've been getting really tired of the players these past couple of days. It's they've been digging their heels, and in a way I can respect it because they really do want to get as much out of it as they can. I wonder if they all of a sudden just come back and accept it. Genetic, who knows? So the way I'm interpreting that Bill Madden tweet, if it's real, if he actually has accurate information, I wonder if the owners, that was their last offer. They're not going to counter, and the union, this is in their court now. So unless the owners feel like, well, here's the thing. If the owners, they want the international draft. So supposedly, remember earlier, John Heyman tweeted out that the union, that they were okay with an international draft. And supposedly, they offered the international draft. But now, according to John Heyman, now the players are saying, no, we never offered that. So, the owners, maybe they feel like they've made a lot of good faith offers, and they feel like maybe the players they're going against, what they said with, the international draft, and maybe the owners have just had it. And they just said, you know what? Forget it. Forget it. But we won't know. So it's a very interesting tweet from Bill Madden. Who knows? He has made a couple of outlandish statements before, and that ended up not being true. So we will have to keep a watch on that. But we'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. But what are you guys saying here in the chat? Let's see here. Yeah, Tom Dower. I don't know why an international draft is an issue. Sick of a few teams having a monopoly on the best players. And that's a big thing, too. There really are a select amount of teams that really have an advantage when it comes to international drafting. The Yankees always have an advantage. The Red Sox as well. Tyler Nosley just subscribed. Welcome, Tyler. Hello, hello. Oh, here we go. Ken Rosenthal. Per union source, MLB told Players Association it would counter on all issues today. But now league is saying it will do that only if the union agrees to one of the three options regarding the international draft. League source disputes that account. So this is per union. So basically, I see what the players are trying to do here. They're trying to make the owners look bad. They're basically saying, the owners, they're only offering us three options or to walk away, basically. I see what the players are doing here. The owners have done stuff like this too. So you just don't know what's true and what's not. So that's the only problem here. So you know what I am seeing from most fans right now? I'm seeing everyone just saying, I don't care. Just get a deal done. That's the majority of what I'm seeing right now. MLB and MLBPA when they have to compromise in the middle. I know. Life is tough. See, I'm seeing this I'm seeing this picture floating around a little bit too. People are getting tired, man. People are getting tired. Man. I've been even seeing today players I've been seeing people saying that the players don't want baseball. I don't know, man. I don't know what the heck is going on. This is all just kind of wild. Travis Sawchik just retweeting. Same thing Ken Rosenthal said. But Ken Rosenthal, per union source, MLB told the players it would counter on all issues today. But now the league is saying it will do that only if the union agrees to one of the three options. League source disputes that account. Luis Bonifacio has just subscribed. What's going on, my friend? But, yeah, man. These are just negotiation tactics, I think, right here. The players, that's what I'm saying. Like, I keep seeing all this stuff out there saying, and again, I'm not pro-owner. I don't like hypocrisy. I like to look at things down the middle. I hate saying that over and over again, but I've been seeing a lot where, the owners, they're just doing a PR thing, trying to put some bad PR out there about the players. Well, look what the players are doing. They're doing the same exact thing. So they're both doing it. So, what do we got here? JA Hub, good videos. The longer this goes on, the worse off the sport gets. The hardcore fans are aging, and the casual fans will move on to other means of entertainment. It's wild to me that these players and the owners too, they just don't seem to see it. I don't know what is going on. I don't know why they just cannot come to an agreement on this. It's wild to me. It's just like, it blows my mind. These are all like such egotistical people. Leave the egos at the door. Drop the egos. Get a deal done. Quit being insecure with yourselves and just get a deal done. Quit trying to win. It's not about winning. It's about, yes, get a fair deal, but the fans are the ones that win or lose. And it's crazy that they don't see, they're so blind to their own ways. They're saying, we don't want, both sides. We don't want 1994 all over again. Well, you're doing it. You're doing it. It's like, what are you doing? Drop the egos. Seriously. Like, why do you got to win here? Man. I agree. Andrew Lee, hashtag drop the ego. JA, hashtag get a deal done. What is this? Eugene Friedman. He's a good labor guy. There are plenty of CBAs with limited reopeners. It could be as simple as 2 or 3 articles per party. Sometimes specific articles are excluded, like pay and healthcare benefits are not part of the limited reopener. That's another thing, too. I guarantee there's a whole bunch of stuff about benefits. There's all that stuff in there. Healthcare stuff. They're not reporting all that. That's all the boring stuff. There could also be a mutual optional reopener on a single issue. Honestly, just agree on the core terms. Agree on the CBT. Agree on the minimum salary. Agree on a bonus pool. Agree on a draft lottery. have, show good faith in wanting to negotiate the international draft. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, to me, I'm all for an international draft. Like, if I were to go one way on something, I know I like to say both sides a lot. I want an international draft because, to me, I already explained, I feel like a lot of these kids in, other countries, they're being taken advantage of. You got there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of corruption going on out there. To me, I want a more structured system when it comes to a draft. That's why drafts are great. We love drafts, NFL draft, one of the most popular events in the sporting world every year. NBA draft, popular event. MLB draft, not as popular as those, but hey, look how fun it was this past year. I love me some drafts. To me, I want more structure. I want other teams to be able to get involved. I want these teams like the Marlins, the A's, to be able to, get in on some of the international free agents. I think that would be fantastic. Not just having, like teams with just all the money and the name power being able to sign all these guys. Dongdre Falcon, what's going on? If the players don't accept this deal, if I was an owner now, I would vote to cancel a third of the season to show these guys they're serious. I think the owners right now, they've really given some good offers. And I think if the players, they don't come back with something good, I think the owner is going to be like, you know what? Screw this. We've really come at them with some good stuff, and they're still just digging their heels in. It's like, no, forget it. Now we're definitely going to cancel some games. We offered you a full 162. We offered you full pay. Yes, they even gave up on the 14-team postseason. They just want an international draft, which I don't think is the worst thing in the world. Kenny Cuevas has just subscribed. What's going on? So, but yeah, Dongdre Falcon, man, I'm wondering what's going to happen. Luis Bonifacio, what's going on? I used to play baseball in the Dominican Republic from 2013 to 2016. The teams used to secure the prospects with 12, 13-year-olds. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's what I was just reading about earlier. And I've even been reading, maybe even like 10 and 11-year-old kids. I don't know. I definitely see where some of the players are coming from when it comes to the downsides of a draft, because, it definitely, maybe could hinder their earning potential, for signing bonuses and whatnot. But I saw something today. Let me go to it. Stanzo retweeted it. Taking a look here. Where was it? Where was it here? So where was it here? Here we go. Alden Gonzalez here. This is a good tweet. Alex Malone, thank you for subscribing. Alden Gonzalez, he said, Major League Baseball has updated 2 elements of its international draft proposal. It would start in 2024, so that's 2 years, 5% higher bonuses for each slot. So the first overall pick would get $5.5 million. Overall, when you looked at the top 2 guys in the international signing period this past year, Roderick Arias, he got $4 million from the Yankees, and Christian Vaquero got right under $5 million for the Nationals. So the number 1 overall pick as of right now would get more than what both of those guys got. So there's 20 rounds, 600 plus picks. Undrafted players can sign up for $20K. But it says here they were flexible on it. I think there's a lot of good for an international draft. I really do. Again, you don't have to rush it. Sit down, talk about it over the next couple of years, get people internationally involved, get every single point of view that you can to make it a good system, right? I'm sure, when did the first MLB draft? 1965. I'm sure this was an issue in 1965. I bet there were some people clamoring, no, 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 no. We don't want a draft. I guarantee there were issues about it back then. I'd have to look into it. I know Wikipedia. What can Wikipedia tell me? Wikipedia is such a great source. But I think it probably just breaks down the draft. I don't think it really gives you. So how did MLB draft start? So it says here, Major League Baseball has used the draft to assign minor league players to teams since 1921, 1936. So they're just, hold on. So let me go to Baseball Almanac. Where did it go here? The first amateur draft was held in 1965. Talks about it was held in June. I want to know like how it came together. That's what I want to know. So how about here? I guarantee there was some brushback on it when it first started. Had to be. There's always brushback on new things. The draft was a new concept only to baseball. Came to football first. Before the draft, procuring talent was on a first-come, first-served basis. Scouts scoured the country, going to games, getting to know players' families, and competing with each other to cultivate the best relationship, make the best offer, and sell their organization as the most attractive one for up-and-coming ball players. That sounds like the international signing period right now. Not surprisingly, the system tended to reinforce competitive imbalance. The Cardinals, the Yankees, and other clubs that had extensive scouting networks for amateurs and that recognized the value of player development in their minor league systems thrived. Those clubs that didn't, such as the post-war Cubs, Indians, and Athletics, were mired in the second division in what seemed to be perpetuity. I don't think I'm saying that right. But overall, I guarantee the first ever MLB draft had its issues. I wouldn't doubt that for a second. I guarantee you in 1965, leading up to the draft, I bet people were so against it. I guarantee it's the same thing right now. To me, I like structure. I don't want these kids getting taken advantage of. I don't want these 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old kids, having to commit or having these teams, these scouts saying, hey, you want to play for the Yankees one day? I don't want that. Let them develop. Let them be kids. Let them kind of create their own path a little bit. Focus on the development. And when it comes to the time when they're 16 years old, have them enter the draft. That's what I like about it. To me, I think it's, if you're going to also, if you're worried about money, if you're really worried about money, if you're the players and you're worried about the money aspect, what's wrong with developing your craft? What, you're not going to get money down the road? Well, yeah, okay, maybe some players could earn more money with international signing without a draft. But what if they spent time, not worrying about what team they were going to? What if they just spent the time, and just focused on development? Well, you can't. You're only just going to get better at your game, You're not going to have the pressure of, oh, man, the Yankees just signed me to $4 million. Oh, I got to really step this up now. And he's a 16-year-old kid. It's like, come on. I don't know. To me, I like the draft better. That's what I want. I just want a draft. So, June Lee says here, MLB official says the international draft represents a major structural roadblock for the negotiation and that the two sides can't move forward with the rest of CBA talks until a resolution. The MLBPA does not want an international draft, so we're at a standstill. Tyler Albers has just subscribed. What's going on? How are we doing? Let me refresh. Evan Drellick. MLB proposed that would include potentially reopening CBA if the international draft isn't agreed to. The deadline for players would be November 15th, 2022. If at that point players didn't want the draft, MLB could reopen the CBA after 2024. Honestly, I mean, you got all these people out there that are, saying, oh, well, the owners, they're the ones that locked out the players. They don't have to lock the players out. Well, the owners right now are giving the option for the players. Okay, hey, we can kind of table this, but we can reopen the CBA in a couple of years. So they're giving that option. Say, hey, we can talk, we can put baseball back. We can open up again. But hey, we got to come back to this at some time down the road. I think that sounds like a fair compromise. So, taking a look here, Chelsea Janes, she said the same thing. If Union agrees to the draft by November 15th, the deal is done. If not, CBA reopens after 2024 as if it had expired. So, that's definitely an option. Definitely an option. Here we go. Chelsea Janes, she was saying here again, international draft in exchange for eliminating direct draft pick compensation. So again, the players, they want the draft pick compensation to be dropped. The owners, they want international draft. Status quo on both. No draft. Qualifying offer system stays. Okay. So the owners, they're saying, okay, well, we don't have to have a draft, but we got to keep the draft pick compensation in place. The third option, you can eliminate the draft pick compensation, and then they get until November 15th later this year. So about, 8 months from now, to agree to an international draft. Honestly, I say do that. Why not? I think, come on now. Why not do the third option? I'm all in favor for option number 1. I would love the international draft. Maybe that's just me. But to me, I think 3 is a pretty good option as well. Hey, we can drop the talks right now. We can come back to this at some point. Do the players want that distraction? I don't know. So, Will Middlebrooks, what is he saying? Will Middlebrooks. He's been interesting to read. Here we go. Almost a third of the league was born outside of the U.S. They're part of the family. You have to consider what is best for them as well. He was responding to Eric Davies. The union is willing to screw the rest of the players because the international players, all the American players go through a draft. Why shouldn't the international players be subjected to the same process? I mean, he does make a point there. But Will Middlebrooks, your answer is a little vague. Almost a third of the league was born outside of the U.S. Okay. They're part of the family. Okay. But what's wrong with the draft? I don't see what's wrong with the draft. I mean, the only answer that I'm seeing out there is it's hindering their opportunity to maybe make more money. I don't know. That's the only argument that I'm seeing. Matt R. just subscribed. Okay, here we go. With that said, I do see positives. No more or less buscones. So buscones, what that is exactly, I actually had the definition here. A buscone is a term used in the Dominican Republic to refer to people who peddle young baseball players to scouts for teams from Major League Baseball. So it's kind of like it's a weird, corrupt system. They're basically, they're looking at kids as like objects, basically. Like they're, training them to become better baseball players, and that way they can make money. They're basically taking advantage of these kids to try and sell them to Major League Baseball teams. So it says here, I do see positives. No more or less buscones. Reduce fraud and deception. Tag-along signing stop and equal access to all 30 teams since the player can't pick where he goes. But if the international players as a majority don't want it, it's a no-go. I want to know why they don't want it. Why don't they want it? I'm all ears. I just want to know why. I haven't really seen a great reason. I think I saw Fernando Tatis Jr. I think he said something today about it. Sport Card Fanatic just subscribed. Was that a threaded tweet? Let me see. What do we got here? Let's let me go back to that. I'm sorry. We almost got 600 people in the chat. Everyone, welcome. If you can, hit the like button for me. Hit that like button for me. That's only going to help the stream further. Let's see if we can get to 200 likes. That's the next goal. If anyone is looking for more baseball news and content, think about subscribing to the channel. But taking a look here, Will Middlebrooks. Let me go down to that. So here we go. Will Middlebrooks, he says here, I've talked to the players about the international draft. It's complicated. The union refuses to sell out the players that would be affected by the draft. Many of the players from those countries are against it, and the union respects that. They won't let this divide them. I just want to know a reason. ATL baseball guy, just subscribe. What's going on? International draft. I mean, don't get me wrong as well. The international draft has done wonders for a lot of players. It really has. Obviously, some of the best players that have ever come to the major leagues, it's obviously done extremely well for some of them. So, including, a lot of players that are in the game today. So it says here, Kevin Baez just subscribed. What's going on? Will Middlebrooks says here, the international draft is complicated because of how different things work in each country. What doesn't make sense is that the league said it wasn't a valuable issue. Then, at their latest deadline, they attached something of value to it. Seems like a negotiation tactic. I agree. I do agree with that. I agree. I do think the international draft, I would imagine it's 50-50. I think the owners, they really do want the draft because they want a more structured system. But I do think it is a negotiation tactic. I do think the owners did that on purpose. I think when, once they saw the opportunity to say, all right, you guys need to we'll drop this for you. But remember that international draft? All right, let's talk about that again, right? So I absolutely agree. I agree with Will Middlebrooks here. It was a negotiation tactic. I think that was a big thing. So, let's see. Does he say anything else? Where was the Fear the Greek Freak has just subscribed. What's going on? How are we doing? Everyone, if you are just joining, we're just waiting for any kind of news. We're on the lookout for a deal. The international draft seems to be the holdup right now. Oh, for crying out loud. Please just get it done. Gonna jump off a cliff. I don't know. What happened to that? What happened to it? Let me go back here. I got so many tabs open right now. Oh, my God. Let me go back to that Fernando Tatis Jr. thing. Kip Clark has just subscribed. What's going on? How are we doing? But here we go. So, Hector Gomez, he was saying here that Fernando Tatis Jr., his comments, the international draft is going to kill baseball in the Dominican Republic. It's going to affect us a lot because there will be many young people who used to give them the opportunity to get a bonus, and with the draft, it will not be the same. I disagree. I mean, what do I know? I'm just a guy sitting at my desk. I'm obviously not in the same realm as Fernando Tatis Jr., but I don't see how it's going to hinder, opportunities for players to get money. I mean, they're going to have slot values for each of the draft picks. Now, I'm sure if we were to go to the MLB draft slot values, now the American draft for the United States, if we were to go to the slot values for last year, the Pirates, that first pick, Marcus Moore just subscribed. What's going on? The Pirates, they had an $8.4 million slot value for the number one pick. Now, for the number one pick in the international draft, that's going to be 5.5. So you're not going to get as much as the regular MLB draft. So that is something to consider. I am interested to see what would be the slot value of, the 29th and the 30th pick. So JE just subscribed. What's going on? So I'm trying to see here. If I do some math, here we go. Percent calculator. Hold on, let me go here. Percent increase. So let me type in these values. So the Reds, they had a 2.3 value, 2.3 million. So let's see. So the number 1 pick, that was 8415. Smallville Horror just subscribed. What's going on? So that was 8.4 million. The number 30 pick was 2.3 million. So that's a negative 71. So that drops 71%. So if we were to go here, let me see if I can go find that tweet again. Oh, we got a super chat. Lukester Sports says, I'm scared. I'm scared too, my friend. So here we go. Percent increase calculator. So what I just did, let me just show you what I did, just to give you an idea of what I'm doing over here. So 8415, 300. This number right here is this was the slot value for the number 1 pick in the MLB draft. Okay. So if we go here to the 30th pick, that was at 2.3. So here we go. 2, 3, 6, 5, 1, 2, 3. So that is around a 72% drop from the number 1 pick all the way to the number 30. Michael Wilson just subscribed. So let's type in now let's type in these. So 5.5 million essentially. What was it again? Let me go back. 5.5125. Okay. Now let's decrease it by 72%. Smallville Horror, what's going on? Keep up the good work, my friend. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. So you're looking at the number 30 pick. If you were to stick with the same percentage decrease in the international draft, you're looking at the number 30 pick being 1.5 million. Okay. Now, let's go to some international signings. And let's see what these guys did. Okay, so these are the rankings, right? The number 1 guy, Christian Vaquero, he was number 1 on Baseball America. He got 4.9. So remember, the number 1 pick in the international draft would get 5.5. So that's already bigger than what he would get. And then Roderick Arias, he dropped down to 4 million. So if you go down here, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So the number 30 was at 1.2 million. So the number 30 pick in the draft, I mean, he would be getting, at least the first round would be in line. Now, the question is, what are the guys going to be getting in the second, the third round? So if we keep going here, I mean, it seems like it's in line. You know, the number 30 pick would be getting essentially 1.5 million. Maggie May just subscribed. Ken Rosenthal. Oh, everyone's saying Ken. Someone just said good stream. Here we go. MLB has given Players Association another deadline. If Union declines to pick one of the 3 options regarding international draft, league believes there is nothing else to discuss. Union position is that league said it would give full counter today. Union position is that league said it would give full count. Didn't they? I thought they countered earlier. They gave a full offer earlier. Eclipse edits. Oh, okay. So they thought the league was going to counter their next offer. In a way, I understand where the owners are coming from. I get it. I get it. Because they probably thought, like, okay, the Union, you guys, you told us when we were in Jupiter, Florida, you said you would, they said, according to what John Heyman said, that they would do the international draft. Was it worded that way? I don't know. I would say maybe the players said, okay, you know what? We'll talk international draft. Okay? We'll talk about it. You know, we're not going to accept anything, but we'll be open to talk about it. That's what I think the players said in Jupiter. So the owners, they want the draft. They feel that strongly about it. They've been wanting this draft for a long time. They feel very strongly about it. So the owners probably feel like, you know, in a way, the owners probably feel like, all right, you know, these international draft signings, they're pretty risky. You know, should they be getting all this money? I don't know. I'm not saying that's how I think. I'm wondering if that's how they think. So, doesn't say what time this deadline is. Michael Long has just subscribed. What's going on? We got about 600 people in the chat. Oh, man. Oh, man. 600 people in the chat. I don't know. I don't know what to think right now. I think, honestly, if I were to give you my honest opinion, I think this is looking pretty... I don't know. I don't know what to think. Andrew Ford just subscribed. Here's what I'm thinking. I think, let's go back to those options. They gave 3 options, okay? So, where are those options at? Here are the 3 options right here. The players, they can do an international draft in exchange for eliminating draft pick compensation. I want the draft. I would personally do number 1. But let's look at the other ones. Number 2, you don't change anything, right? Michael Hodges just subscribed. What's going on? Number 2, they don't do anything. Number 3, we'll get rid of the draft pick compensation. You have until November for us to come up with an agreement for the international draft. If we don't agree, okay, well, then we're going to reopen the CBA in a couple of years. So this is on the players right now. This is a pretty hardball offer, you know? This is a pretty hardball offer because no matter what here, the owners, they're winning something at least with every offer. Number 1, they're getting the draft. Number 2, they get to keep the qualifying offer. And number 3, they keep the international draft alive, but it allows them to open up the CBA again and then hold the leverage of being able to do another lockout in a couple of years. Ryan Marchione has just subscribed. What's going on? Dude, if I'm the players, man, they're going to look, I mean, they're boxed into a corner here. If I'm not, having any feelings, involved here and no emotions, the players are boxed into a corner here. Because here's the thing. I mean, the owners, man, I'm sorry, the owners are winning here. There's no win for the player here because you know why? The players, they could walk away. But the players are going to get annihilated. They're going to get annihilated if they walk away. This is where I think the owners, again, I'm not looking at this from an emotional point of view. I'm looking at it from strategy. The owners, they started really low. However, the players, they started really high. Here's the thing. The owners from the get-go, they have the leverage on this because they own the league. However, where they had other leverage was the past CBA. The players agreed to it. They agreed to it. So the owners are giving them flexibility. They're saying, all right, we'll meet you on some things. We're going to help you out, but you got to help us out on some things too. And that's negotiating. The owners here, I'm going to say this right now. The owners, strategically, fantastic job. Fantastic job here. I like it. But this was smart. Like, this was incredibly smart because they're giving them options, which is always nice to give people flexibility. But if the players walk away, they lose in the court of public opinion. This was, again, maybe fantastic's not the right word, but this was very smart from the owners. Very smart. Here we go. Fuzzy says, sign the deal. The international draft would take years to develop anyways. Push it off. Let's play baseball. So, what is my response here to Fuzzy? I agree with what he's saying. I say, keep the qualifying offer in place. Has it really been that much of a burden? I mean, has it? Has it really been a burden? I mean, yes, sure, it would help the players, but come on. Some of these guys are signing monster deals, and they have a qualifying offer attached to them. I'm just saying, is it really that much of a burden? I don't think so. It has been helpful for the players, or for teams. It has been. But overall, when you're seeing what these guys are signing, I mean, come on. Here we go. Evan Drellick. It is difficult to know what dollar values the sides attached to the international draft or eliminating qualifying offer. Industry sources estimate QO to be worth $50 million to $100 million annually. Just because one side links two issues does not mean they are identically valued. Industry sources estimate the qualifying offer to be worth, because again, qualifying offer, if a player goes and signs somewhere, then you get a prospect in return. Well, that's when you get into values here a little bit, where this is where baseball trade values can come into play. So if you go take a look at, let's go to baseball trade values. I'm trying to think. So let's think of a player that's been drafted in the last few years. So I'm trying to think who, let's see here. Best draft compensation picks MLB. Here we go. So here are some compensation picks. David Wright was one. Todd Frazier, he was 34th. Trevor Story. Josh Donaldson was number 48. I think Joey Gallo was number 39. Aaron Judge was a compensation pick. The Yankees, they got the number 32 pick overall when they signed Nick Swisher. And then in return, that got them Aaron Judge. So, I completely forgot. I'm seeing it in the chat. Mike Trout. Mike Trout was a compensation pick. So, Adam Wainwright, Torrey Hunter, Rafael Palmeiro, David Wright, and then Mike Trout. So, I can understand why these teams value these draft picks. So, if you go to the trade simulator, I'm trying to think. Who was the... We got a lot of action going on here. Here we go. Ken Rosenthal is still tweeting. We got about 700 people in the chat. 700 people in the chat. Everyone, what is going on? Everyone, we got 700 people. This is what I need everyone to do right now. We got 700 people, and we got 195 likes. Everyone, smash the like button for me. Can we get to 500 likes in the next minute? Can we get to 500 likes in the next minute? We got 700 people in here. We could get to 500 here. Here we go. Kem Rosenthal. Deadline, for what it's worth, is sometime tonight. And tonight is a word that can be interpreted that could be interpreted quite liberally. Oh, man. I can't. You know what? I will say this. At least it has been, we got started early here. We got started early. So, Evan Drellick said, here we go. It is difficult to know what dollar values. Oh, we already read that one. Number 2, there is a league proposed option for the qualifying offer to remain intact and for the international amateur system to also go unchanged. But in that scenario, the big question for players becomes, is the rest of the deal enough of a gain without eliminating the qualifying offer? Well, if you're looking at it, let's just go right down the middle, $75 million. So you got to think, Mapo Miso, what is going on? How are we doing? Everyone, we got to 300 likes. We got to 300 likes. Come on. I know we got about 200 more likes in you. 200 more likes. So let's just say a qualifying offer. Let's go right down the middle. It's saying 50 to 100 million. Let's say 75 million. You're getting a bonus pool of 40. You're getting minimum salary, 700,000, but you're looking at that for a ton of players. And then you're getting the CBT starting at 230. Okay. So, you know what I think is going to end up happening? Heyman. I'll hold that thought. Players are going over these 3 options now that MLB sent over. Some are trying to decipher the meaning ramifications first. You know what the meaning and the ramifications are? The players are screwed either way. No matter what option they pick, they're going to lose a little bit. A law degree might help. One agent suggested it's more complicated than the tax code. No matter what, they're gonna lose a little bit. I think they should go with 2 or 3. I mean, if they don't want to do the international draft, don't do number 1. I would go with number 3, personally. Just do the international draft. I mean, come on. Is it really going to bother them? Is it really going to hurt them in the long run? I don't know. Here's the thing. See, I don't know. I want to know what these Latin players are saying. Is it really just about money? Because that seems like that's what it is. Why these Latin players don't want a draft. Because, I mean, to be honest with you, when I'm reading a tweet like this from Will Middlebrooks, let me go to this tweet. Where was this tweet? Where was it? It was tweeted earlier. He did say here, international draft is complicated because of how things work in each country. He said somewhere where there's a lot of good things about doing a draft. I don't know where this tweet is. I have no idea. Oh, here we go. He says here, I do see positives. No more or less Buscones. Reduce fraud and deception. Tag along signing stop. And equal access to all 30 teams. That should be the end of the argument. That's the end of the argument right there. No more of these agents out there trying to sell these kids to teams. There's no fraud. There's also, Another thing, too, a lot of these guys out there, a lot of them, they end up being older than what they are. You know, a lot of them are taking performance-enhancing drugs. Not a lot of them. Some of them out there are taking PEDs. With a draft, you're going to be getting rid of all that. You know, tag-along signing stop, equal access to all 30 teams. That should be enough right there to say, that's it. Like, we're doing a draft. But he goes on to say here, the international players don't want it. I bet there's a lot of them that do. Because he says here, this is key, as a majority. What's the majority? Is it like 55-45? Is it 60-40? You know, I'm just saying. I bet you there are a lot of people. We already read an article earlier from people that used to oppose the draft, saying that they want a draft. There was actually a video that John Morosi put. I believe John Morosi put it. It was a video with, was it John Morosi? Yeah, it was this one right here. They talked with Bobby Abreu and Carlos Guillen. So this was posted yesterday. I can put this on. I can put on the audio.
Guillen, he signed with the Astros as an amateur free agent out of Venezuela in 1992, 2 weeks before his 17th birthday. Now, they're here to talk to us about a potential international.
So let's listen to these comments from Carlos Guillen and Bobby Abreu on their thoughts on the draft.
Healthier, fairer system while maintaining the number of players.
Hold on, let me actually read the comments first. It says here, what they're offering would be 20 rounds with same signing age from same country. Consists of 20 rounds of picks with same signing age and from same countries as current international system. Clubs can trade but not pass picks. Ooh, that's interesting. Total spending across international signing would increase 13 to 15 million compared to the current system. I mean, so you're seeing more money right there. No, total amount of signings is expected to stay the same. So what's the problem? If money is the problem, then what's the problem? Here we go. Let's listen to Bobby Abreu.
Maintaining the number of players signed and increasing the money that clubs spend on international players. Let's welcome Bob Abreu and Carlos Guillen to MLB Tonight. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Good to see both of you. Bob, I want to start with you. Why do you believe an international draft would be good for the game?
Well, I do believe there's more opportunities for the players. And when I'm talking about the more opportunities, when they played at the same age, you know, the more competition for the guys at the 16 years old, 17 years old, 18 years old. And I've been seeing a lot of guys over here with 18, 19 years old with a lot of potential. They have an opportunity to sign. I mean, for some reason, they're too old for the systems, too old for the game. So I don't believe.
So a big thing that Bobby Abreu is saying here is it's going to provide more opportunities to these players because he has seen a lot of players that had a lot of potential, but they were too old to be an international free agent, right? Because a lot of these teams, they want to get them when they're, 16 years old. So Bobby Abreu is saying here that he has seen a lot of players kind of just come and go, even though they may have been talented enough to get to the major leagues. But unfortunately, their time, just scouts aren't really paying attention to them because scouts are paying attention to these younger kids. So that's a great point that Bobby Abreu brings up. And you got to remember here, Bobby Abreu, Carlos Guillen, they were international signings.
I believe in that. I think they deserve to have more opportunity. And I believe the international draft is going to come with the same age, I would say. Like I don't know if it's gonna be for all the 18, 19, 20 years old, and they all can go out there and compete and show the talent, and they're gonna just decide what kind of round they're gonna be picked, and it's not gonna be anything different from that. So I do believe in the international draft.
Carlos, take me back to 1992. How would an international draft changed your
So overall, Bobby Abreu, he just thinks that he thinks it's just going to be more opportunities for players overall, and more players are going to get noticed because you're going to have all the teams involved here, right? And to me, when you're creating opportunities, I don't see what the problem is. Let's listen to what Carlos Guillen's comments are. Also, let me turn up the volume just a little bit here.
In 1992. Well, I said in 1992, I was having 17 years old, 16 years old, and I think it's the right age. Today, if you don't have an international draft, it's a lot of early. I don't want to say contracts or early. ¿Cómo se dice? Palabras. Early contract. I'm just gonna say like that. Today, he's having
He's saying commitments.
Agree with the teens at 13 years old, 14 years old, 15 years old. They sit at the academies and they not compete. I think with the international draft, you're gonna the teams and the academies or the programs, they're gonna have less risks, and a lot of more kids. They're gonna have more opportunity to develop their talent in the academies. I think this is the best. Is the best for our countries, Latin players, because it's less risk for the team too. Where it's more guaranteed where you invest the money, the teams.
Less risk for everyone.
The only thing I worry is when we have to sign the same amount of players we haven't signed in the past.
Bob, this is a question for you. In your native land in Venezuela,
so basically, just to kind of give you a recap of what Carlos Guillen just said, he was saying that a lot of teams, they start scouting these guys at 13, 14 years old, and they're trying to get commitments with these guys early on. And so that it's kind of, it's eliminating these older guys as well, because agents these days, these scouts, they want to find the next big thing internationally. So that's why they're even looking at 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, right? But a lot of these 16-year-olds, 17-year-old kids, even 18, they're just being passed by. So
facilities in 1990 compared to today, are the facilities better, and will that help young baseball players that are maybe potentially, if there does become an international draft, do they have the facility?
Oh, and then one more thing Carlos Guillen said too is that he said having the draft, it's going to just give these kids more time. Like I was saying earlier, it's going to give these kids more time to develop. It's going to let them just focus on developing instead of, oh man, I got a commitment with the Yankees. Oh man, I gotta, that's a lot of pressure, So to me, when these kids can, and yes, there's Wanda, thank you for subscribing. There's nothing wrong with pressure. I think people need to have more pressure in life. I think people need to be put in uncomfortable situations to get better. But with these kids, instead of just focusing on, okay, all right, I signed a commitment with the Yankees. To me, I don't know. I like the idea of being like, all right, I want to try and improve my stock in the draft, and they're not worried about financial stuff going on when they're 14 years old, 15 years old. You don't need to be worrying about that stuff when you're that young. So let's listen to the rest of this clip.
Facilities, to be up to snuff with the other parts of the world?
But Dan, Lisa, how are you, man? Long time to see you.
I'm doing well,
So,
Bob.
yeah, when we played together in Philly, so definitely. Since '91, when I was signed by the Astros, the facility there was I was okay, by the time. But right now we got better facilities right now for the players. We got the scholarship too on the program that they have to just go to school and try to keep student into they learn.
Tyler Albers in the chat. You're saying watch MLB Network to get a fair opinion on the subject. Haha, come on. We're listening to Major League Baseball players right now. That's Bobby Abreu. That's Carlos Guillen, who were both international signings. Come on. Come on now.
And then play more baseball. We got all the things they need to be a better players. We all trying to just put that on the table.
That's amazing. Carlos, Bob, good to see you again. I haven't seen you since the Mets days. With the international draft, do you think it would help guys get more exposure to major league teams? From my knowledge of how guys are signed now, you have your Buscones who take care of kids, from as early as 12 years old, look out for them, teach them, help them learn the game, and get access to these teams. Do you think the international draft will open it up a little more to where more teams can see these players at younger ages?
Definitely. I mean, I think the sport's going to be bigger, like you say. I mean, sometimes they concentrate on the guys of 14, 15 years old. But what about the guys of 17, 18 years old? They have the talent, they have the quality to play the game. Those guys still have the opportunity to sign and go up there and make the dream come true.
No, really good stuff, guys. Thank you so much.
So basically what they're saying here is that, they got the better facilities now. So, these kids are definitely able to, train better, have better facilities to practice in, play in. But they're also saying the draft overall is just going to expose more players. So I like that idea. I'm also seeing in the chat, Jake's takes, play what David Ortiz said next. So let's actually go to David Ortiz. He had some pretty interesting comments. He was talking with Jeff Passan. So let's go take a look here at Jeff Passan. He actually had a thread today. He had a thread today with David Ortiz. Here we go. Alrighty. So Jeff Passan said today, in a voice message sent to a group chat that has been widely shared in Dominican baseball circles, David Ortiz, perhaps the most influential baseball voice in the country, came out strongly against the international draft. See, I don't like this first tweet from Jeff because he's saying right away he's strongly against the international draft. But then you go down and he says that he's not against it. So where is that tweet? What happened to that tweet? I know I just saw it. Okay, Jeff put it in a separate tweet. Ortiz's compromise: be open to a draft, but involve the most prominent voices, names, and minds to ensure it launches down the road with bipartisan support. Seems to be reasonable. Either way, the international draft has become a vital part. So David Ortiz is not strongly against an international draft. So that is one thing to take note of here with Jeff Passan. Okay? He started off right away saying that he's against it. But then he says basically, be open to a draft, but make sure it's done the right way. And I agree. I think you need to do it the right way. You need to make sure the right people are put in place to make sure that it goes well every single year, to make sure scouting is done correctly, to make sure there's no, funny business over there. Do it the right way. Have people with different mindsets and different positions and come together and make it something good for the players down the road. But that's what I don't understand, why he starts off here saying he's against it, but then he says he's open to it. So I don't know. He says here, I don't want the kids to be affected by it. I already played baseball. I had a career about the kids being treated right. Or I care about the kids being treated right. I understand MLB wants to have control over everything they do, but you're not going to change the system overnight. I agree. You're not going to change the system overnight. And that's why you should take a couple of years. Here we go. John Heyman. I'm seeing everyone going crazy in the chat. John Heyman. Oh, brother. Folks on both sides are saying the other side doesn't want to do a deal. I think those folks are wrong. The one obvious thing is that missed games would be devastating for the sport. They all have to know that much. It's true. It's true. I'm seeing people out there saying, oh, the owners, they don't even want to play baseball in the month of April. Baloney. Get out of here. That's just hogwash. There's no firm evidence of it out there. There's none. Like, it's just literally an assumption. People are just assuming that. Like, oh, they're not going to make as much money or whatever. Okay, it's not about how much you make with the tickets. It's a matter of, there's a lot of other things that go into play, than just simply selling tickets. I get it. It's cold weather and everything. But to me, I don't know. I'm going to lose. I want to miss an opportunity to make money. I don't buy that at all. So I don't think the owners want to lose games. And another thing, too, it's just going to be a bad look. It's not going to be good for them in the long run to just miss games. That's not going to be feasible at all in the long run. So I don't buy that for a second. So I've been seeing people put it out there. Mostly people off of ESPN are putting it out there. So, I don't know. I just think both sides are pointing fingers right now. What do you know? Same old story. It's I don't know. It's 6 o'clock. It's 6:20 Eastern Standard Time right now. And who knows what's going to be in store. But I think we're going to be here for a little while. We're going to wait this out, everyone. Everyone, we're at 360 likes. Come on. Let's get to 500. Let's get to 500. We can do it. Let's at least get to 400 first. But alrighty, let's see. What else we got out here? What else we got? But going back to this earlier, so if you are just joining us right now, the big topic is the international draft. That seems to be the big sticking point here. And also, Major League Baseball, they are offering the players 3 options. They can take the draft, get rid of the qualifying offer. You can keep the qualifying offer and get rid of the draft. Or you can be open to still talking about the international draft and try and have an agreement on it by November of this year. And if you don't reach an agreement, you could potentially have the CBA talks open up again in a couple of years. So, Braden Berman, do you think a deal gets done today? At this point, I think it is a matter of pride at this point, because you got to think from the owner's point of view. If you're looking at it and again, I don't know if this is how they're thinking, but if the owners accept right now, let's say right now they accepted. Now they're going to look a little weak. They're going to look a little weak. Unfortunately, even though I think one of those options they could pick, I think they're going to try and make one counter. I wonder if they could make one counter. The owners basically said they're done. You can pick one of these options and that's it. So I see Justin Lamas in the chat saying scale of 1 to 10, give it a 4. I actually I'm right there, like a 4 or 5. I think, though, the players, the thing with the players right now is if they accept one of these options, well, they're going to look a little weak. But then again, I still think they're not quite there because they want more bonus pool. You know, I think the CBT and the minimum salary, those are pretty much done. The bonus pool, they probably want. So here's what I'm wondering. I wonder if the players, they come back and say, all right, you know what? We'll leave the talks open for the international draft. We'll leave the talks open. Let's figure out the international draft. Make sure it works for everyone. But we want one more thing. Give us $10 million more on the bonus pool, and you have a deal. We'll do option number 3. Give us $10 more million for the bonus pool, and we have a deal. That, I wonder if that gets it done. I would do that. To me, if I'm the players, just be open. Here's the thing. I understand where the players are at. They don't want to get taken advantage of. I agree. You know, I agree with them digging their heels in. But they're backed into a tough spot right now. And there's no way of winning with anything. Because if they pick one of the 3 options without any sort of a counter, they're going to look weak. If they walk away, well, now people are going to be furious, and now they're going to look bad. And then they're going to go on Twitter, and they're going to say, oh, they didn't give us any fair options, and blah, blah, blah. But then people are still going to roast them. Because here's the thing. The owners have presented good numbers to them. They have. You can't deny it. They have made very reasonable offers. They came more than halfway for the CBT. They pretty much came close to what they were asking for the minimum salary. Bonus pool could be increased. That's the only thing. I think the bonus pool could come up in a little bit. You know? That's it. I do agree with the players. Try and get a little more for that bonus pool. You know? But to me, if the players walk away, they're going to lose a lot of people because the owners have done their job. They have presented good numbers. Bonus pool, again, I would increase the bonus pool. So what I would do if I'm the players, what do I know? I don't know anything. But if I'm the players, I say, all right, we'll be open to this dumb international draft. I don't think it's dumb. I think it's great. But they say, all right, we're open to talking about this international draft, but we want $10 more million for the bonus pool, and we're done. That's it. So maybe they could offer the owners a couple more options. They could reverse it onto them. They could do a reverse Uno card, and they could present some options to the owners. Okay? All right, so we saw your 3 options. Here are 3 options of our own. Andy Martino. He says here, MLB will soon cancel the next 2 regular season series because there's no agreement in place. Nah, I don't think they're going to cancel until there's some kind of an announcement. I think the players, they gotta come back with something first. They got to make a decision. Maybe this is MLB putting it out there, saying, hey, Andy, go put this out into Twitter land. We're going to cancel some games. They want to put some pressure right now on the players. I think this is a pressure move. I don't think they're canceling unless we hear something. So they're trying to speed up this process. And this is interesting. This is a game. This is a mind game right here. I don't see what the problem is, man. I really don't. I mean, again, I'm an idiot, but I really like the international draft. But yeah, Jake's takes, MLB using propaganda to put pressure on the players. But hey, the players have done the same thing. Mike Jones taking years off my life. Tell me about it. Very strategic by the owners to just cede the arguments. I think it's a great strategy. I'm not siding with them. I just think it's smart. I mean, could it backfire? It could. Definitely could. Big Boy 97. I wonder if that's going on right now. I wonder if they're in there because you want to to break something down, you try and break them from within. That's a move in its own, you know? I guarantee you there's a ton of players right now that are thinking, dude, are we serious? Can we seriously not like do this? Can we just come on? Like, these are good numbers. So Heyman tweet. What's going on? I'm on it, everyone. I'm on it. Here we go. Players have seemed very much together from the start, and now owners for the first time seem galvanized. This misunderstanding, or more, over who introduced the international draft into the process and what was setting Jupiter has, at least for the moment, poisoned the well. This is interesting, everyone. This is like a drama. This is interesting. Because really, who said what about the international draft? Who said what? I mean, come on, we gotta get something on that. But really, the owners, so again, galvanized, that's like when you got like, it's like you got armor on you, like you're protected. So the owners, they feel protected for the first time now. This misunderstanding or more over who introduced the international draft into the process and what was setting Jupiter has, at least for the moment, poisoned the well. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Everyone, while we're waiting for some more news, if anyone is new, think about hitting that subscribe button. Hey, hopefully we get some baseball back soon. When that happens, we're going to have all the coverage. We're going to have all the talks. We're going to have all the baseball. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. That's going to help us get out there. Are we at 500 likes yet? Where are we at? Oh, everyone, we're at 400 likes. Come on. Smash the heck out of that like button. We're almost at 500. Come on. I know we got 100 likes in here. Come on, take that finger, move it slowly over the thumb. Just hit the thumbs up. Got the bell notification as well. Hit that if you haven't already. Share the stream anywhere you can, Twitter, wherever. So let's see. We're waiting for some kind of news. We had Andy Martino said here they're ready to cancel some games. This is in the players' laps right now. Buster Olney. What is Buster Olney? Good old ESPN. What is Buster Olney saying? Whoop. That's Onoy. Olney. Buster Olney. What are you saying? Yep. So once again, it's just a players only tweet. That's all they do. That's all these guys do on ESPN. Sorry if that hurts anyone's feelings here, but like, that's all they do. They just tweet about the players. There's like nothing ever. Again, I'm not pro owner, but like, where is the transparency on both sides? I mean, come on. You can't sit here and tell me the owners look bad. They have presented good numbers, but they're playing hardball at the same time. Can you blame them? They want something put in place. And I'm not saying, again, if anyone can give me a good argument against a draft besides money, because money doesn't seem to be a big issue when it comes to the draft for an international draft. Whoa. Hello. What is happening? That's not fuzzy. Did they cancel games? Is it canceled? Oh. Okay, here we go. Whoa, we got some news. So I guess the players have reached out and said they're not picking an option. Bob Nightingale, MLB has just canceled another week of games. I mean, we had that report earlier. Remember, we had the report from Bill Madden. If we go back, remember Bill Madden tweeted a little while ago. Wow, we've had a lot of tweets. Okay, I got to type this in from somewhere else. Bill Madden. See, that's his old account right there. Where is his new account? Okay, my phone. What the? Where is Bill Madden? Here we go. So Bill Madden said a little while ago, we're at Armageddon, folks. I'm told the owners have had enough. This was an hour ago. I'm told the owners have had enough and are walking away after the Scott Boras-led players rejected what they felt was a best effort, fair deal that addressed all of the players' needs. Going to be months now. Wow. So if we go back here to the latest tweets, so Bob Nightingale, he said here, MLB just canceled another week of games until at least April 14th. Jeff Passan, 2 more series have been canceled. Mark Feinsand, MLB has postponed opening day until at least April 14th, removing 2 more series from the schedule. Rob Manfred with the statement. Okay, we gotta calm this down. Oh, okay, so we got some big news. Hold on. Let me go to this tweet first. Jeff Passan. The MLB rejected the league's 3 offers on an international draft and presented its own. Okay, that's what I said they should do. The proposal: remove qualifying offer this year if parties can't agree to international draft by November 15th. Qualifying offer returns and revert. Oh, okay. So the owners or the players, they said, all right, we'll talk about the international draft, but if we can't agree to it, then we'll just go back to the old system. But I can see why the owners wouldn't like that, because they're probably just thinking, okay, well, then they're probably just, how do we know that they're going to actually talk to us in good faith about a draft? They don't want the draft. How do we know they're going to talk to us about it? So they'll just run out the clock and then it'll just go back to the old way. So, but then again, why? But why would the owners? But the owners, they offered option number 2, where they just keep everything the same. However, the owners are probably thinking, well, they don't want to have a year without the qualifying offer. So, very interesting return from the players there. So they kind of met them halfway. Oh, now the owners, now you could definitely have your opinion on the owners if you want. I think it's interesting for both sides, because I understand the owners, they don't want to give away the qualifying offer because the owners here, that's very smart on the players. That is a smart play from the players, because they just took the leverage a little bit out of the owners' hands. That's a smart play. Good play on the players there. So, very interesting. Very interesting. So, man. But here was Rob Manfred's comments. Alex, just subscribe. What's going on? No, truth's sick. I agree. You are right. You're right. It is a bad play overall because we lose games. I'm talking more negotiating, right? So taking a look here. In a last-ditch effort to preserve a 162-game season, this week we have made good faith proposals, true, that address the specific concerns voiced by the MLBPA and would have allowed the players to return to the field immediately. The clubs went to extraordinary lengths to meet the substantial demands of the MLBPA. On the key economic issues that have posed stumbling blocks, the clubs proposed ways to bridge gaps to preserve a full schedule. Regrettably, after our second late-night bargaining session in a week, we remain without a deal. Because of the logistical realities of the calendar, another 2 series are being removed from the schedule, meaning that opening day is postponed until April 14th. We worked hard to reach an agreement and offered a fair deal with significant improvements for the players and our fans. I'm saddened by the situation's continued impact on our game and all those who are a part of it, especially our loyal fans. We have the utmost respect for our players and hope they will ultimately choose to accept the fair agreement they have been offered. I'm not going to argue with that because they have made fair offers. They have made fair offers. They have. The offers that they made for the CBT, the minimum salary, I think the bonus pool could come up a little bit. But overall, you're not far away on it. The international draft, I am personally in favor of it. I do think the players overall, I mean, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be. I think the players they're not going to get as much support this time around. So they're not going to get. They're losing support. I understand that on that counter offer, I did think it was smart in a leverage sense because if we go back to what they offered, so remove the draft pick compensation. The parties have until November 15th to agree to a draft. If no agreement, then it just goes back to the old ways. So, again, I understand why Major League Baseball wouldn't be game for that because do they know if the players are going to talk in good faith about an international draft? Because they could just run out the clock, not really put forth a good effort, and then it just goes back to the old ways. And then you're just back to square one. So, so you're probably thinking, well, they offered option number 2 to where we could just keep the we could just keep the draft pick compensation and just not do the international draft. But if you go with this counter option from the players, you wouldn't have the draft pick compensation for this year, and the owners, they don't like that. I think that's more leverage than anything. That's not a good leverage play for the owners in that situation. Overall, I think the owners are going to get more. I think the owners are going to start getting some more support. D&E show, what's going on? Are they done talking now? Are they done? It looks like it. It looks like they're done. It seems like they're done. Probably. They're gonna get back together at a later time, probably next week. Gimp leg, owners lose the bulk of $11 million and their team's value plummets, each worth over $1 billion. Brandon Over, players really killing their own sport. Rest in peace, baseball. It was fun while it lasted. It's really too bad, I'm for an international draft. D&E show. Yeah, again, are they done? It seems like they're probably done. And again, I'm going to go back to this. And again, I'm all for the players, sticking to their guns. I do want them to get compensated as much as possible, but you need to do it in a fair way. I wonder if Scott Boras here is really having a lot of control over all of this. Bill Madden suggested it. I think Scott Boras is having a lot of sway right now. Bob Nightingale, what's going on? The union said it was promised a counter proposal by MLB, which never came. You know why? MLBPA? You know why? Because Major League Baseball has been giving you good offers. They have been presenting good faith offers to you. Yes, they're going to say, all right, we will meet you with some of these demands, but you need to give something to us too. Yeah, they're not going to counter proposal because they're sick of it. Because they're sick of your crap. Because you're not going to do anything. They gave him 3 options. The Players Association, they walked away. They said they countered. And, I get the counter, but they knew that the owners weren't going to take that because there's no guarantee that they were going to get a deal done. The players, or the owners, they offered to the players, hey, we don't have to agree to an international draft right now. We can work on the framework, but we have to agree to one. And if we don't, we can open up the CBA again in 2 years or 3 years or whatever it was. So I understand it is a lot about leverage. It is a lot about egos at this point, but I mean, yeah, come on. The union said they promised a counter. They gave you 3 options. You know? They gave you 3 options. You should have countered with, okay, we will do the international draft, but we want 10 more million for the bonus pool. That should have been your counter. That should have been the counter. Maybe I'm wrong. You can disagree with me, but that's what I would have done. I don't know. That's what I would have done. That's just my opinion. But in the end, I will stick to my original statement. It is both sides at the end of the day. The owners, if they could, maybe they could have done something else. You know, maybe they could have offered more for the bonus pool. Maybe they could have upped a couple more things to try and get them to agree to an international draft. The international draft sounds pretty good to me. Lucas Hessen just subscribed. What's up, my friend? But could the owners maybe have done a little bit more? Yes, they have made fair offers. But if you want to convince someone of something like an international draft, man, you're going to have to sweeten that pot just a little bit more. You're going to have to sweeten the pot a little more, you know? And I'm just saying, you know, at the end of the day, it is both sides. I think the players, they might not look as great right now to a lot of people. Super chat. Truth Sick, $10 super chat. Both sides are in the wrong, just like what I was saying. Plain and simple, today MLB matured and gave a great deal. Yes. Yes, the 3-month delay on starting this whole process is bad, but today could have been the last day. And, you know, and I think, but then again, the players too, remember the players, they weren't coming to the table either. You know, they were both not coming to the table. They were both like basically, you know, 2 brothers in the same household who are just mad at each other and they don't want to go to the same dinner table. You know, the players also, they were kind of starting off with some really high offers and Major League, and they were also coming at the owners saying, you know, oh, well, we want, you know, to do this with, you know, Super 2s. We want to lower 6 years to free agency to 5. The owners said to them, listen, we're not doing that. We're not changing the Super 2. We're not changing how many years to get to free agency. Those are non-starters. So I'm not the biggest fan of the term non-starter, but you know, it is what it is. But ultimately, both sides have been not as effective as they could have been from the very get-go. So, man, oh man, tough day, man. And we stayed up late. Honestly, I think for next time, I'm just going live when they announce something. I think I'm not going live, and I'm not going to be doing this watch stuff. You know, as fun as it might be, I'll probably end up doing it, but it's just frustrating because, you know, we were on for 5 hours last night, and, you know, here we are again. We're running on over 2 hours now, and we get the same result. You know, I think honestly, probably next time, you know, I'll just wait until something's announced. Or if I do go live, you know, I don't know. I'm just frustrated. I'm frustrated. But here we go. Bob Nightingale, if negotiations weren't ugly before, just wait now that 2 weeks of games have been canceled, with MLB saying those games will not be made up and the players will not be paid for games missed. You know, I do wish Major League Baseball, I do wish that's probably a lot of it out of frustration, honestly. I think that could be something that they regret down the road, you know? I don't know. I understand why they did it. Because they're tired. I'm telling you right now, they're tired of Scott Boras. They are tired of Scott Boras. Oh, man. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Giraffe Neck Mark, you make a good point. Remember what I said last night. You know, you can't go to sleep. You know, every time you go to sleep, you're just shooting yourselves in the foot. You're shooting yourselves in the foot when you go to sleep. So, so I'm just saying, I don't know. You got to stop going to sleep. What is fake Bob Nightingale saying? Red Sox will be winning the World Series if Robbie hits 1K likes. Oh, man, hey, I'm all about it. But yeah, I'll hang out for a little longer, guys. I actually got to get to the gym. I did not go to the gym this morning. So we will have to disband here in probably a little longer. I'll stay for a few questions. I'll keep an eye on notifications. Where are we going here? Kem Rosenthal, per union source, league declined to respond to this counter. Is no one going to point out the fact that no one's going to point out that the players here, they were given 3 options and they're tired of Scott Boris's crap? Is any of that going to get reported here? No. You know why? Because Scott Boras gives these people information. Ken Rosenthal, he doesn't want to say anything bad about Scott Boras. Why? Because Scott Boras goes to Ken Rosenthal to say good things about his players. Just saying. Apollo Arc just subscribed. Do you think Jeff Passan's going to want to say anything about Scott Boras? No, because Scott Boras is his in. Ken Rosenthal, Scott Boras is his in. They get information from the man. And if they mess up that relationship, well, they're not going to get information anymore. And you know what's that's going to affect? It's going to affect their jobs. Do you think they're going to, and if they lose their ability to tweet and write articles, do you really think that they're going to have any value left? I'm just saying. They know Scott Boras is messing some stuff up. They know that. And that's why you never see them say anything in defense of the owners, because Ken Rosenthal, Jeff Passan, a lot of these guys, they're in Scott Boris's back pocket. That's why. That is why. And they want you to keep reading their articles. They want to keep giving you the inside scoop on these things. So that's why they need someone like Scott Boras there. Why do they want to have the inside scoop? So that you'll go sign up for their subscription services. So, just saying. Just saying. But what do I know? What do I know? So, I'm telling you right now, Scott Boras is the problem. He is the problem. What do we got here? What do we got? Yeah, Sam Charmley, this is sad. I can't take this anymore. Yeah, Shooter McGavin. Free MLB TV for everyone. Jake's Takes. Option 2 literally affected 6 people in this offseason and 13 in the one. Yeah, honestly, they should have just done option 2. I mean, is it really... I mean, I understand, draft pick compensation. You're giving up a decent draft pick. Late first round pick, basically. So I understand, players, they would like to get rid of that because teams don't want to give up those picks. Nelson Cruz retired? No way. No, he didn't. Did he retire? What? What is going on? Nelson Cruz just retired. What is happening? Nelson Cruz said, all right, forget this. You guys can't come up with an agreement. I'm going to the Dominican Republic. Wow. Oh, man. So did he want to retire? I just find that very interesting that he's doing it now. The timing of it is quite ironic. Noah Maez, this whole thing has been a battle of egos and image. Egos will always ruin you, everyone. Drop the ego. Drop the ego. here we go. Brandon Weil. Trying to jam the international draft into the CBA right now doesn't seem right, and neither does hitching it into the QO. Way too complex to rush. If MLB really wants to clean up how international free agents are signed, talk with the players and figure it out. They've been talking about it for years, Brandon Weil. They have been talking about the international draft since Bud Selig. And they're not rushing it. They literally presented to them that they want to start it in 2024. Enough of this. Who does Brandon Weil work for? All right, the Score. I don't know. But that's no. No, they said we'll start this in 2024. I do see what he's saying. I do think if you weren't going to come to an agreement on the international draft, I think the players should have accepted, hey, if we can't come to an agreement, okay, but then the collective bargaining agreements can open, or the CBA can open back up in a couple of years. They gave them options. They gave flexibility. They did. Like, I mean, unless I'm like just completely, I'm brain dead and I have no idea. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. Bob Nightingale, needless to say, this could wipe out all of the spring training games that were originally scheduled in Arizona and Florida. MLB likely will schedule some spring training games whenever the lockout ends, but this is a massive blow to the fans and economy of the two states. I know I was going to go to spring training. I'm over here in Florida. Tim Manto, that's a good point as well. Tim Manto, Major League Baseball, they offered 2 times for a mediator. But everyone thought that was Major League Baseball trying to just be like scummy. I don't know. Lionheart 70, what if Boris was an owner? MLBPA would get nothing. I know, right? David, what is going on? Thank you for subscribing. Hey, we got to 500 likes. If there is anyone new in the chat, think about subscribing down below. That would really help with the channel. Just in this stream alone, we have gained around 150 subscribers. So thank you to all the new subscribers. But this is not a good look for Major League Baseball. Not a good look for the players. I don't know. So again, if we were to go over the options, I'll go over the options one more time that were presented. So let me go back to the options that were presented. Steven, thank you for subscribing. All right, we got to go back to these options here. We're just going to do a quick review. So here we go. So the players, what they have, they did send a counter, right? But the owners, they basically just said, nah, we don't like your counter. We're canceling games. But John Heyman, he said earlier that the players were given 3 options. They could accept the international draft with no draft pick compensation, or they could not do the draft, but they have to continue with compensation, or they could sign the CBA, which would eliminate draft pick compensation, and they would examine the international draft. And if they did sign the CBA and they did not come to an agreement on an international draft, they could reopen the CBA in 2 years. So, but the players, they said no to all of that. And they said that, or their counter, what was their counter? So the counter to the owners on their 3 options: remove the qualifying offer this year if the parties can't agree to the international draft by November 15th, the qualifying offer returns and revert to the previous system. So now again, that I don't like that very much because again, how do you know if the players they've already been stressing enough that they don't like it, but how can you trust that they're going to talk in good faith? So they could just run out the clock. It could go back to the old way. And, but then in this way, they would lose the qualifying offer for a year. So, and I understand why the owners, they are losing, they're losing a little leverage that way, and they don't like that. So they don't want to get rid of any qualifying offer unless they know there's going to be an international draft, which supposedly John Heyman said that last week in Jupiter, the owners claimed that the players agreed to an international draft. So, Jacob, thank you for subscribing. So, I don't know. It's a lot right now. I think now we're looking at people are definitely going to be more divided. You're still going to see a lot of people out there in favor of the players. You're still going to see a lot of people in favor, but now you're going to see a lot more people in favor of the owners. Per union source, there are no plans for continued discussions tomorrow at the moment. Union says MLB did an about face and wouldn't respond to their counteroffer unless they agreed to a proposal on how to deal with the international draft. I don't know. According to reports, you agreed to an international draft, or at least you said you would be open to talking about it. So, I don't know. I understand, yes, Major League Baseball, they are playing some tactics here. I mean, of course they are. It's negotiations. But the players here, you got to stop bashing. You got to stop with the bashing because it's not going to make them look any better. I guarantee you, you're going to see a lot of hate on the Players Association in the next coming days. Let's see what people are saying to Brandon Weil. See, top comment. Just be glad your media job actually pays you when games aren't played. I was pro player until this issue. That's what I said earlier. John Gibbons, #1 fan. They are delaying until 2024. That's plenty of time. Let's see what people are saying to Kem Rosenthal. Right here. But it's the player's fault. Oh, wait, hold on. But it's the player's fault. LOL. But yeah. But then this guy right here, who has gotten more likes. Dude, do you not understand that the owners gave a lot of offers to the MLBPA? The MLBPA only dropped a little bit of their CBT, and that's it. And the owners offered 3 offers, and the players couldn't accept 1. And look at right now. He got 9 likes. That's got 3. So MLB says only answer one way or we walk. Union counters instead, and MLB takes their ball and goes home for the day. Lawyer ball. So in a way, but then again, why did they walk away? They're probably tired of it. They're probably tired of Scott Boris's crap. I guarantee you Scott Boris is involved. Oh, yes. Look at this. That seals the deal. I am no longer a MLB fan. It is a pure and utter embarrassment to the game of baseball. I will officially not be renewing my plan next season, nor will I watch on TV ever again. I'm going to watch chess where they know how to run a real sport. Jackson, why is the union so worried about the international draft, but they aren't worried about the conditions of the current minor leaguers? Definitely an interesting point. Wesley Williams, why should they have responded? They told the union they had 3 options. Players screwed this up. I'm just saying, everyone, you're going to start seeing a lot of hate for the players. I wonder if that's going to... I think people are starting to wake up a little bit. People are waking up. I don't know. But in the end, no deal. Steve Cohen tweet. Hannah Kaiser. The union countered this with a new option: elimination of draft pick compensation. Players have until November 15th to agree to an international draft. Okay, yeah, so same thing we've already read. Steve Cohen tweeted. What is Steve Cohen's name on here? Is it one word? Oh. Where is Steve Cohen? Hold on. Oh, here we go. What did he tweet? Is this a Twitter? Oh, he hasn't tweeted for a while. Oh, yeah, I saw this earlier. He said he liked something. He liked this tweet right here. Maybe I'm way off here, but I don't think MLB would ever accept an offer from the MLBPA. They want to have the upper hand. They want their offer accepted or denied. Oh, but then Steve Cohen liked it, and he said that was unintentional. Must have hit by accident. Nah, dude, you like that. Yeah, so he hasn't really, nothing there. Dan Olson just subscribed. What's going on? I like a Clayton Kershaw, man. Working at Canes. Oh, man. Anything new? Well, I think that's all I got for tonight, everyone. Unfortunately, not the happy ending we all wanted. I thought it seemed way better. It seemed way more optimistic, and in the end, the international draft just ended up being the sticking point. Overall, I am for an international draft. I think it would have been great if they would have come up with a system to where, I don't know, maybe you could have tabled the international draft for now and then, really try and progress for it, in the next few years. But Major League Baseball, they did say, listen, we want the draft, but we won't start it until 2024, so that way it gives us time to figure out how to make it work. The players, they stuck to their guns and they said no. So we'll have to wait and see what happens next week. But everyone, before I do get out of here, one more time, if anyone is new, haven't hit subscribe yet, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be trying to do as many updates on all of this as I can as we keep going forward. We're going to make it through together. Hit that like button, everyone. It's really going to help this get out there for people that maybe want to come watch it again. I don't know. Hit the bell notification, share any of the content on the channel. But everyone, hey, I thought we were going to have it today. I really did. And in the end, it just didn't happen. So we just got to keep moving forward. So be on the lookout for any content over the next few days. I always try to make some content any way I can. So be on the lookout. I'll try to go live anytime I can. But to all the new subscribers, thank you. We gained, it looks like, around 200 new subscribers in this stream. So I want to thank all of you so much. We'll be back as soon as we can. Hopefully we get some news in the next couple of days and we can sit down and we can talk about it. So everyone, go have yourself a good night. Try to get your mind off baseball a little bit. I don't know. Go do something. Go to the gym. Go have a sandwich. Go have some ice cream. Go be happy. So everyone, have a good night, and I'll talk to you next time.